So Assetto Corsa just dropped update 1.9.3 today, and it flew under the radar for me, honestly, until earlier when I saw the announcement trailer on YouTube. With it comes the new McLaren 720S GT3 Evo. And so today I just wanted to hop in, do a few laps, give you all my first impressions, and just get a good feel for the car and just understand what's different and what's upgraded about it and how it feels. So let's dive into it. Before we get started, if you like what I'm doing here at JC Collins Racing, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to head over to jccollinsracing.com to find more ways to support my racing career as well as this channel's growth. Okay, so here we are looking at the 720S Evo, and initial thoughts, I mean, in terms of body paneling and everything, it looks pretty much the same as the original 720S GT3. But I mean, of course, the liveries look a little bit different. Other than that, I mean, it's still a beautiful car. It's always been a beautiful car. It's always been one of my favorite looking vehicles in the world and on Assetto Corsa as we know it. So actually, I want to take a quick look at some of the other liveries here to see what they're looking like. But I do like this orange and blue, and this black is really, really nice. It's really sleek, and it looks like it's a matte finish. Very, very good touch here for this first livery. So if we come here and we look at some of the other liveries we have. Okay, here's another blue, orange, black, and white. Not bad, very colorful, very festive. Kind of filling the paint splotches on here, that's pretty cool. Oh wow, I like the black and gold. That is pretty cool. Has a kind of a regal look to it, almost with the black and gold. Very nice, very nice, okay. Okay, this one's busy. Black and red. Always a favorite color combination of mine. But a bit too busy for me, but still pretty nice. And last but not least, we have our Sky Tempest. We can't have McLaren without the Sky Tempest one here. Okay, so overall these, I mean, they look nice. I think I'm probably going to go with the JP Motorsports just because I like the black and gold. Okay, so I decided to come to Brands Hatch to just kind of test it out. This is typically where I bring most of the cars that I'm trying to understand or learn. I bring them to Brands Hatch to get a good understanding of them. You got a lot of different dips and turns and bumps and things of that nature. A good variation of corners to help understand the balance of the car, the aerodynamic balance, as well as the suspension and downforce. So a lot like what I did in one of my previous videos, I'm actually just going to kind of keep the car as bare bones as possible. I'm only going to go to the aggressive setup. I'm gonna just tweak just here the fuel load. Fuel load, I'm drop down to 30. I'm gonna change my brakes to brakes 1, just to have some, since it's a quick test, to have some really strong stopping power. I'm gonna bring my ABS down to 1. And that is all. I'm not going to touch the dampers, aero balance, mechanical grip, even brake bias. I'm going to leave initially at 56 just to understand how the car handles at stock. And if I need to change it on the fly, I'll do that. Hopefully I won't need to, but you know, with the previous McLaren, the brake balance was pretty good and the car handled very well. So I'm expecting that it's probably going to be a lot of the same, if not better. All right, so with that done, let's go ahead and take this out on the track, shall we? All right, so looks like the Multec display has pretty much some of the same.
Track temp is 40, the air temp is 31 Celsius.
Appreciate that, Chief. Yeah, a lot of it is the same, so no big change there. The cockpit looks about the same. All right. So I'm guessing that it's just more so just an improvement in performance, but enough talk, you know, let's go ahead and get to it.
Exit looks clear.
That's interesting. Now I have to definitely adjust my seating position in this car to make sure I get the full effect of the field of view that I have. It's not bad, but it could be a little bit better. Alright, so initially so far on cold tires on the out lap, I will say that the car is actually really responsive and pretty grippy with cold tires. I see that my front tires are warming up pretty good already. And I have to remember to try not to push too hard on the out lap. Okay. So the rear end is a little loose, but that's to be expected on cold tires, so I'm just gonna have to back off just a bit. So while I'm warming up the tires, I mean, let me know in the comment section below, did you guys expect this update? Did you know about it? If so, where are you looking online to get the information? Are you going to a Corsair's home site, or are you looking at different other sites? Let me know, as I would love to be more abreast of these things ahead of time. I will say this car has a really good sense of speed. Like the feeling of speed is definitely good. Okay. Alright, tires are a little warm now. They're not perfect. I think I can push a little harder. You know, McLarens, I've always been really comfortable with them initially. Right out of the box. I mean, they offer a really good feel. Typically, as I say, I lose the rear end as I say that. But it's good that I'm able to catch it. That's one of the good things I like, is you can really control and you can really feel what the McLaren is doing. It doesn't really fit my driving style as much as I would like it to, but if I have to jump in and drive a McLaren, I can do so. I just need to concentrate a bit more. And just do some minor tweaks to the setup. Make sure I'm getting the most traction. I understand that this is not the best first 2 laps. It's a little shaky, but just trying to get back in the swing of things. Tires and brakes feel pretty good. I think I'm going to try to push a little bit more on this one.
Last lap time was 1:30.28.
Wow, I completely botched that. I was able to catch it though. Yeah, so once the tires warm up, the car really feels lively. You just have to be really considerate of your throttle management on corner exit. Oh. Having a little heavy for it today, but yeah, the rear end just feels a little loose. Oh, going on corner entry.
Okay, Joe, you need to watch the track limits.
Specifically, yeah, more so corner entry for me than corner exit. So I just feel like that maybe a quick tweak of the rear roll bars, anti-roll bars, would help that. I'm honestly still trying to get a good feel for the gearing on this track with this vehicle. But I will say, I'm really digging it so far. I mean, it's a really easy car to control. It's fast. It sounds amazing. Trail braking is very easy to do in this vehicle. However, I'm just having some issues just trying to find a sweet spot to get back on the throttle. This is a car that I really see myself being really comfortable, and I could see myself being really fast in this if I give myself time to really dial in the settings and practice. There aren't many cars that I can really say that about on ACC. I mean, they all feel great in their own right, depending on your driving style. But I will say that in terms of drivability, this one for me is like one of the easiest to just kind of get in and go, at least right now. That's what it feels like. It's not like the Lamborghini for me where I have to really concentrate and really do a lot of changes to the setup. This just has an overall good feel. Minus the looseness of the rear end initially, but that's something you can easily tweak out with the setup changes. Okay, so I improved on my lap time by about a second there. And hey, I know I'm not running the best lap times here. I'm not running alien lap times, but hey, you know what? This is our first impressions and my first time driving the Evo as we know it. If this were the original 720S GT3, it may be my lap time may be a little bit better because I'm a little bit more accustomed to how that one handles. But this one is slightly more loose, just a little bit. So you just have to make some. Oh wow, that's a mid corner understeer there.
Don't delete this lap, you've cut the track.
Okay. Let me focus up a little bit here and give you all a good a lap that I can be proud of. Yeah, I know I'm braking so much earlier and downshifting a bit too much on a few of the corners, but it's okay. Yeah, trail braking feels really good in this car. Really good. It's really easy to control. You don't really lose the rear end like you would in most other vehicles. The Ferrari 296, for example, I'm having some issues trying to control it under trail braking. When you unload the rear, it's really easy to let it to lose it. Okay, here we go. Let's try for a pretty decent lap as I lose the rear again. Yes, it's really easy to lose the rear.
Yellow flag.
Alright. Alright, so I went to the garage to just kind of reset and do a couple laps to get the brakes and the tires warmed up. And now I want to try to give you guys at least a decent lap. One thing I've noticed though while doing a few warm-up laps is that the tire pressures are not really getting into the optimal range, even though I'm getting into an optimal temperature. So I'm sure that has a lot to do with why I keep losing the back end of the vehicle. So that is something that you just may have to keep an eye on and just tweak it a little bit, depending on which track and weather combination you have going on. But right now, out of the box, here at Brands Hatch, that tends to be an issue for this vehicle, but that's something that's easily fixed. But yeah, so far I will say I'm really digging this car. It just takes a bit more concentration than what it would have from just the original S20, 720S. It's just the rear end is just a bit more loose, but once again, it's probably due to what I said with the tire pressures. Also, that's another thing that was tweaked in this update is tire pressures when it comes to really cold tires and wet tires. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but that's something to consider. If you all would like to understand more about what the other updates were in this update,
Sector 3 time is quick.
should be coming on screen right now as I'm trying my best to not lose myself. Okay. If not, I'll have it at the end of the video to share with you all. Alright, so let's try to get a decent lap here without any slip-ups. Let's see what time I'm I don't predict getting like a world-shattering or really good lap time, that's because I'm still trying to get used to the car. But overall, I just want to get a solid lap time.
Sector 2 is 0.31.
So trail braking for this car is essential, and doing it properly is what needs to happen. And that was not good because I just jumped the curve. It was a little too eager. This is definitely a car that if you get it right, it really rewards you. But if you're not perfect, you can definitely fail catastrophically. So you've got to be really good with your throttle inputs.
Last lap was at 28.65. You're currently
Okay, that was a good clean lap. Wasn't a very fast lap, but a good clean lap. Let's do one more. This one, I feel good about this one. But yeah, this car, it will really reward you if you are kind to the throttle. Seems like it. Which is, right now I'm a little heavy-footed today. I'm a little accustomed to driving the Corsair where you can be a little heavier on the throttle on corner entry and exit.
Sector 1 time is good.
As I lose the rear end again. But it's okay though. I like the fact that I can catch it before it goes into a full spin.
Sector 2 time is good.
Oh yeah. Trail braking is required, and of course it's required for this entire sim. This car relies pretty heavily on it, and you gotta get it right. If you do, it just rewards you. I mean, so far I've been doing better, and I'm nearly a second up from what I was my last time. 127.5.
27.51. Sector 3
it's not
time
bad.
is fast.
Okay, so that was really fun. What can I say about the 720S Evo? It's a bit more edgy than the original 720S. To me, the original 720S felt safe. This one definitely feels more challenging and like you're more on the edge all the time. And it really rewards you for getting things like trail braking and smooth throttle applications. It just really rewards you if you get it right. But if you don't get it right, as you saw in the video, the rear end was sliding all over the place. So it's one of those cars where you just really need to go in and make sure you're adjusting your aero balance properly for whatever track you're on, as well as making sure that under braking that you're not completely unloading the rear with make sure that you're trail braking properly. Other than that, I mean, the turn in feels great. It's not a snappy oversteer with turn in or anything like that. If you do lose the rear end, as you can see, it's fairly easy to correct without having to do a bunch of overcorrection. So that's a good thing. So it still maintains that margin of safety that the original 720S has, but it's also asking for a bit more, which is good. So I feel like if your driving style is the type of like kind of a Max Verstappen driving style where you're pretty aggressive, you will go really far with this car. And also this car doesn't require a lot of setup adjustments out of the box. So it's one of those cars you can just kind of jump in and go. My lap times here at Brands Hatch were not the greatest, but I mean, a 127.5 for me anyway, with a car that I've never driven before, that's pretty good. I feel like with enough tweaks and enough practice, I can probably cut off another 3 seconds on my lap time with this car. So to say that confidently from a first impressions, that's, in my opinion, that's pretty impressive for a vehicle. So I think Kunos did a really good job with modeling this vehicle, and I'm interested to actually practice with it and get good with it. It's not going to be my main. So far, I'm still digging the Porsche 992, and that's probably going to be my favorite for a while here. But who knows? I'll, experiment. So with that, I would love to hear what you all think about the 720S GT3 Evo, as well as the other few cars that have just dropped, the 992, the new Lamborghini Huracan Evo, as well as the Ferrari 296. Are you still playing with those cars? Do you feel that they're the best thing since sliced bread? Do you hate them? How are they working with your driving style? I would love to hear it. Let me know in the comments below. And with that, I'm going to catch you all in the next one. I'm going to get a little bit more practice with this, and I hope to hear from you soon and see you in the next one. Take care.